It's only 6:30. It's so crazy how it goes from being so dark to so light, just like so fast. Like, I really wonder what they do. Like, because I feel like everything that happens is that they're somehow in control. I got invited yesterday to go to Yakima Monday through Wednesday, and my daughter and her dad got a great big giant house there and a pool and stuff. And so I said, hell yeah, I'll come. I want to come and lay out by the pool and then get to see the grandkids and stuff. And so we got this big place so everybody could come over there and hang out by the pool and stuff for a couple days. And so I'm super excited to go do that. And then Stella's doing horrible, man. Fuck, I cannot believe it. I swear to God. It is like every fucking time I say, oh, she's doing so good. It'll just, for sure, something I'll think like she's on one trajectory where she's doing better. But it's like going forward. I'll get all excited and then backwards, like so far backwards. Like she is so having such a hard time. I feel kind of bad to try and, because that is what keeps going in my mind. Okay, so I'm gonna have to get her in the car. She's not gonna be happy about that. She does not want to get in the car. And I was thinking, man, I'll just back the car up to the porch, walk her onto it like I did when she couldn't walk. I mean, we didn't just walk her onto it. We had to pick her up and have a couple people help her walk. She's not to that point, but she's definitely struggling. She's like trying to limp on 3 different legs. And I'm not sure what the hell is going on. So, and every time I go and take her, it's the same old bullshit. Pay me a lot of money, take some pharmaceuticals and nothing, just keep going round. So yesterday, the little girl showed up with her dog and I was like, damn it. Stella was already asleep and she was laying here snoozing and I didn't go to the gate. I walked out of the hall and I saw she was at the gate and I was just like, I'm still sleeping. She's not feeling good. So I was like, I'm just not gonna, go down there. And I thought she would walk away, but then there was knocking at my door all of a sudden and Stella jumps up and totally freaked her out because every time somebody sneaks up on her, totally freaks her out. But so we went outside for a while and that girl kept telling me to take her to her vet, take her to their vet. And but Stella isn't just one vet that she's gone to. She's been to 3. Let's see, because then the other one, they won't come out and see her, the ones that came out and put Winston to sleep. But she has been to her regular vet in Spokane when she was little, and then she has been to the animal hospitals, and she's been to this other vet. Like, it's just the same shit. And so, I don't know, it's just frustrating. Oh, and you know what, always on this thing, these camera things change the colors of stuff, so that I always feel like my teeth look like yellower to me. Like sometimes I'll be talking, I'll think, God, it's like a bright yellow flash when I talk. And I'm like, it's so weird because I look in the mirror, my teeth don't look yellow. But I don't know if it's a camera or whatever. But anyway, so it kept making me notice the teeth. And I'm not going to bleach them. Back in the day when I was, being a nurse and working and all that stuff, I would go in and bleach my teeth. And it makes them more sensitive. I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. And so anyways, I keep seeing this stuff that keeps popping up on my TikTok. Like, so far I've seen 3 different ones. And there's these purple pastes. And the paste goes in and it cuts the yellow. So even if it's just like discoloration as you age, just, I don't know, to me it just looks like your teeth kind of become more tan color or something. Especially if you drink tea or coffee. But so anyways, this purple paste, there's 2 of them that are purple paste, and there's one that is a cream with 2 different ones. And so you brush your teeth with them and it takes all of the yellow off and makes your teeth look really bright. I was thinking about trying one of those. The that hair remover thing, I'm just going to give it to somebody else. I'm going to give it to one of my daughters and see if she, but I'm no way. Yeah, for one thing, most of my body has got tattoos on it, and so I'm gonna go and put through there where it's like it heats it up or something. There's something with the ink in that. I don't know how the thing works, but it's creepy. So, anyways, I'm not gonna do it. Just keep on using scissors. I saw this woman who, there you see such a variety of people on TikTok. Like there's a couple of girls, one of them in particular, because I saw her so many times yesterday, but she has a full beard, total whole beard, like a long beard. And so she totally reminds me of the bearded woman. Whenever I see her, she just reminds me of the bearded woman from the circus, or whatever that they would show that. And she looks like her all the time. And so I always think, like, women have been growing beards for a long ass time. I mean, that bearded woman from the circus thing, that was a long time ago. But then, women started being like, they didn't want to grow hair on their face and stuff like that. But there's so many. But the thing is, people have got to accept people, man. People just got to accept people. Especially, I was seeing more and more of these testimonials by different gay people and stuff, and so many with the trans people. And there's still something, I'm not sure what all, if there's certain insurance companies or certain states or something is pulling their hormone stuff. And so it's causing people who were transitioning to not be able to continue. And then there's also a lot of people who are having a lot of problems with the hormones and having to stop. So there's like all different kinds of testimonies and stuff. But there's this one, and he is already a dad, and then he transitioned later in life. And now he's having to detransition and go back. Something with the hormones or his insurance or his state or something. But all the people you see are really devastated and sad and going through all sorts of identity crises and stuff. But it's the same thing to me as the bearded woman. Is like, we just have to accept people. Like, so what if a guy feels comfortable wearing more girly clothes? Men were wearing skirts for a long time. And so why do we put these restrictions? Why someone can't just be themselves? Why they feel like they have to go in and chop off their penis and put on a vagina in order to be able to be more, not flamboyant, because that's over the top, with that kind of role that people are like, well, I want to be a woman. And then they go into this over the top womanness. And it's like, I don't know, as a woman, I wear a lot of men's clothes, and like, you can't just say all women are just like a bunch of flamboyant, throw me my mascara over here. And, like, that's all we care about. It is, I don't know, it's very versatile. And everything is so pigeonholed. Like, everybody has to fit into such a defined characteristic as a portrayal of what we define someone to be, when they are, even if you aren't totally transitioned into a woman or whatever, if you still feel like one, just go. I just think the transitioning thing, I've said from the beginning, I thought it had to do with the transhumanism agenda. Like, it is like the people who will walk in and do it as, what is that? As a volunteer, then they're all, hell yeah, we got some practice going on here. And so those people come in and offer themselves as the experiment, then yeah, they're going to do it. But we got to just get to the point where, so what if a guy is born a guy but he feels like a girl? Let him. And there shouldn't even be a thing about the bathrooms. Like, it's ridiculous. Why they even make us go in and use bathrooms with anybody? Like, I don't want to go in and use a bathroom with anybody. I just want a private bathroom. And I generally don't use bathrooms in public because I just think it's weird. And I'm not going to just go in. I mean, I have to really have to go to want to go out in public. And still, I prefer to go to stores or restaurants or bathrooms where it's an independent stall, not where you're going with a whole group of people. I just think that's weird no matter what. And I think that's a weird thing that we've accepted because we think that that's all we deserve. And I think it's weird. And then people make all sorts of excuses about lines and stuff like that. So what? Go find another bathroom, put out more porta potties. I don't know. But we shouldn't have to be fighting about where we want to go to the bathroom. And then it isn't even a part of the community, the conversation. Like, if a guy's wearing a dress, who gives a fuck? Let him goddamn walk around in a dress. But the problem is the guys who are doing this shit, that are doing it just to get into bathrooms, just to get into stalls to see women and kids because they've got some issue. Like, I don't even... Like, we've got too many people under the same umbrella that don't belong under the same umbrella. And so, but this is all the exposure. This is so we can, like, oh, well, there's this, there's this, there's this, there's this. It's not all just one group. And it's very different. And a lot of those people are going through a lot of trauma right now. I mean, I can't even imagine how jacked up their hormones are. And, fighting against their boy ones, putting them on all these girl ones and pulling the girl ones. And, I'm sure they're emotional mess, crying and just a wreck. So I don't know. I just feel like, man, what a better society if we just accepted people. So what? She has a beard. So what? He wears dresses. Like, who cares? That's just who they are. That's what they're fucking comfortable with. And, the girl who has the beard, she said, and she's got a partner, a guy partner. She doesn't, it just was too much to try and keep up with. It was overwhelming. And she does get nicer. I mean, she gets mean people too, but she does find a lot of nicer people and people that she is a role model for and stuff. So there's a positive, but there's always the negative part. But you got to just let go of the negative part and focus on the positive part. And what was that I just saw too? Because that was a guy who was, it was something, it was an insecure. I just saw this one girl and she was talking about a guy sent her a mean comment and said it looked like she had a mustache and a 5 o'clock shadow. And she was, like a lot of women do. A lot of women have hair that grows on their face. And so she was telling him how, rude that to say something like that, and especially something where you're trying to put somebody down for an insecurity. And, and all the women handle it different. I mean, they put out all these little razor things for women now, all these razors for women's faces. And I had heard a long time ago, though, from my aunt. And my mom would always tell me, my mom was the one who told me, don't pluck your eyebrows. And so I didn't pluck my eyebrows. And she said, don't shave your face. And this was a long time ago. I think I was like a teenager or something when my stepdad said, do you have a mustache? I was like, what? I have a mustache? And that's when I became paranoid from it from that point on. Like, oh my God, I have a mustache? Like, what? And, he was young. He wasn't even my real dad. He didn't give a fuck about how I felt. He wanted to put me down or ridicule me or whatever. And, but my mom had told me long time ago was don't shave your face. Whatever you do, don't shave your face because you will get stubble just like a man's, and then you'll have a shadow, a 5 o'clock shadow. And so I always use scissors. I just trim like the hair starts being like long, just cut it off. And I don't do like a whole shave thing on my face because of that thing. But what I have seen is so many women who have 5 o'clock shadows and stubble because they shave. And that woman shaved because she did it on the thing. She goes, I show this all the time on my videos, but I'll show you. And she got out just like a regular big razor and just shaving all over. And but that's the thing, is that all these girls, and that even when, because I had a really cool pair of manicure scissors. And then when we went to Costa Rica, my daughter was like, oh, can I borrow your scissors when I'm at our wedding? I'm like, oh, these are my favorite ones. You got to give them back. And of course, no, they disappeared somewhere. And so I had to go everywhere looking for more manicure scissors. I am not shitting you. How many places I went to, pharmacies, the beauty aisle and stuff. I don't know. They promote the razors. They want girls out there shaving their faces. They don't want you out there with the little manicure scissors anymore. And because of all the things like the stubble, honey, it's okay. You're okay. It's gonna be okay. The stubble, for the hair removal thing, see, it'll work on that. For a woman who's been shaving, who gets the black stubble, that will, the thing, the laser, man, she can barely walk. Fuck, dude. Come over here, honey. That will work to remove the stubble because of those things take off black hairs. And because I haven't shaved, I just trim them, so my hair is all like peach fuzz still. It's not stubbly. So anyways, I think one of my daughters, she had been using those little razors. So I was thinking, I bet you she's got stubble. I bet you that thing would work really good. I have another daughter and she has dark hair. And so she has been going and doing that because she's has a lot of money. And so she's been going and doing the real laser treatments at the place, and they're super expensive and stuff. So I was like, oh, I'll give the daughter's not speaking to me. I'll give it to her. It's her birthday. Today is her birthday. No, today's the 12th. Tomorrow is her birthday, the 13th. And so, and then Monday I'll see them at the, because I may get her in the car. Because I was like, man, even if we sit here, she's going to be stiff and uncomfortable. So if we're sitting by a pool, she's going to be stiff and uncomfortable, but she's still going to have a lot of people around her. She's going to have a lot of dogs around her still. Well, I think my daughter would bring her dogs over. But anyways, she'll be excited to see the grandkids and stuff. So it seems like punishment or something to stick her in there and make her go, but man, I just sitting here, well, it's just, man. And for how much my joints hurt, and just know it's got to be something environmental that causes this inflammation. I'm so fucking sick of it. But anyways, so if you have been shaving your face and you are getting stubble, those treatment things will work. You can't get rid of the stubble. It's the dark hair that it does something. It can find the dark hair and zap it, but it can't find the light hair and zap it. And so anyways, those things will work. But I think all that stuff is going to be fixed with the med beds anyways, like the PCOS and all the hormones that are jacked up that are causing men to cry and women to grow hair, mustaches, and beards and shit. I think it all has to do with the extreme hormones that they've been doing and messing around. And this stuff goes so far back. It is fucking insane. I just saw this woman doing this breakdown that was mind-blowing. So I don't remember what her question was, why she decided, well, I'm going to look at that. But so she looked at this Life magazine, and it was this first one with Rockefeller being introduced or something. I don't know. It was 1967 in some big article with him. There was so many things, like his watch. He's sitting there, I don't know, some pose, make sure his watch shows this manly pose or whatever, whatever it is. I don't remember, some jack up thing. And the time is 9/11. Is 1967 is the amount of years between when they said Jesus was born. No, when was it? Something about when Jesus was born or died. in the amount of days between when that occurred. The whole thing about why they chose it to be our numbers for emergencies, there was so much stuff. I couldn't even believe how many things were in this video where I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, because that's what it was about. The magazine, him wanting to build the towers. So in how many different articles there were pushing for these towers to be built. They're talking about building them, and it's on his watch. That is, they had planned it before they ever built them. It was like that was going to occur, so they had to build the towers to make sure that they could do it. It is mental. Like, I mean, when you see the things with the dollar bills and all that stuff, and you see the people who break down this whole treachery that happened, of the murder of so many people at once, and the ritual behind it, and the stealing the gold, and all of this stuff that went on, and the whole thing to try and keep us under their control financially. Then what was I going to say? But the whole thing is that it was a plan from before. It wasn't like they're just like that day, hey, let's do this today. No, it was planned from, like, we need to build these towers so later we can take them down, like, in a very dramatic way. Like, I don't know. Like, this place is so freaking freaky. Like, really. Like, when you're talking about in the 67, in this Life magazine, he's talking about putting those up for whatever the fucking reason. There were so many different things in this video, I couldn't even cover them all, or I can't remember them all. But to have that on his clock, and she was showing all these different videos, like from all these movies that we have seen, and all these different things. Like, it could even be an ad for a watch, but there was a whole period of time that every single thing said it was either the hands were on the 9 and the 11, or they were on the 9 and then 11 past the hour. And all of these, in movies, everything. So it was so freaking planned. And I don't know if they had it planned to the year or what, man. But this stuff is so fucking planned. I just saw, and it's to the point, I swear to God, you can't even tell, like, anymore. Like, these people, if they're supporting Trump or they're against Trump, like, they just are so Trump, and it's like, I don't even know what the hell you're saying. And but some of them, they'll be making a whole thing, and then it'll be because they hate him. And so it's just confusing to me. But a person was doing, so they live in Texas, and they said all of a sudden everywhere there is these signs, Trump, May 14, May 14, Trump, May 14, Trump, May 14, something, everywhere. And she said at the same time those popped up everywhere, they popped up these billboards, and I've seen those billboards here. Well, I know I saw them in Spokane. I don't drive around as much here. But I know I've seen them because they stand out, because they're these, she called them white baby billboards. But they're they do use white babies all over them. Big, Gerber faces about caring for kids. And then the ones for the removal of babies from the thing, of these really dramatic kind of billboards everywhere. She says, weird how it just went up all like overnight everywhere. And she said, something's going on, I don't know what the hell. And then there's this live, and I saw this last week too when I was thumbing through, because the lives will go through the things and then you can stop and watch them for a while or just keep going. But this is I've seen this one a bunch of times, is one of those clinics, and the draw, I don't even know like what drives people, but I think it was the same one the last time, because I could recognize this girl's voice. And she was the one who went out and started blaring the music so people couldn't hear it. So they got the music blaring, but they're going up and talking to people and being real assholes. Like there's a lot of, it is a fucking rude shit going on out there with these different groups arguing and kind of making fun. And the thing that is bothersome is because the people who are out there arguing are like the super religious people. And so then they'll be like, you know, come to Jesus, and all this stuff about, you can't be talking like that to these people. They don't give a fuck about your God, your Jesus, or whatever. You got to get people to get in touch with their own soul, what's inside of them. Don't be telling them about your God, your Jesus, your Savior. They're not looking for that. They are put off by that. And I don't know how these people can't read this, how they keep trying to push and push and push and push. Like, you just got to hear the good word. Once you hear the good word, you're going to be right up here with me. No, you're not. These people are anti the good word. They are anti-religion. They're anti-Jesus. They don't give a shit. They feel controlled by it. They don't want to be controlled by your God, because that's how they see it. Like, you're willing to worship this God, and see the people who are out there doing that, they don't realize, like, yeah, you are. You're worshiping this God, and you're using it as ammunition against these other people to control them. And it is all just very toxic. The whole toxic environment that is created by the people who want us to continue to stay divided and don't want us to get along, and they want us to argue. So they got to go the extreme, the completely disrespectful asshole people who laugh and mock God, and then the people who are out there just pleading for people to give God a chance. And I just think you gotta get on. The two levels are you're two different things. You got to find something in the middle, some middle ground, and neither group is going to do it like as a group. That is why, groups are going to continue falling apart. That was one of the things yesterday I forgot to say about the tattoo thing too, because that group is really, it's on the chopping block right now. It's going crazy. And it started with some woman who was paying for some tattoo, and she got totally ripped off. Like, I didn't even know. I didn't even know there was tattooers out there doing this shit. Like, it's crazy. I was, I just wasn't somebody who's going to rip people off. Not at all. And so, my prices were good, but it wasn't because I was trying to undercut people or anything like that. It was because I just didn't think that was something that you just go in and get rich off of. But so there's a whole group that are real in ego, so fucking in ego. And it is part of the tattoo thing is when you can draw pictures up and people aren't going to like them, or, somebody can not show up for their appointment, or there's all sorts of things that can happen. It's an appointment, and it's a cash thing, and, there's a whole thing to it. So anyways, I think my nose is dripping now. Ugh, I swear to God, I'm so fucking sick of feeling sick. Anyways, this person charged, so they charged just to talk to him. So it's $180 just to talk to him. Doesn't go towards your computer, doesn't go towards your tattoo or anything. A lot of people just pay $180 just for a whole tattoo. And you're charging $180 just to speak to you. Okay, so right there. And this is people who, they go in, they see these people on Instagram or whatever, see their tattoos, and are like, oh my God, they're so good, I want to get a tattoo by them. And so that, that is, I don't know, this is stuff for people to figure out for themselves. So she charges $180 just to talk to her. Then you have to have her design your tattoo. And that has 3 price points. You can get I think it's like $1,900 or $2,900 or $6,000. The cheapest one, you get one drawing and you don't get to change it. No, maybe you get one change. But it was very, like, take it or leave it. $1,900 for take it or leave it. And then the next one was, like, I think you get to choose to make some changes in the thing for $2,600 or something. And then the $6,000, you get to change it. You can say, oh, no, I don't want that. I want this. And you get a painting. She'll paint your tattoo, and you can have that too. So that's $6,000. Okay, none of that goes towards your tattoo. That still goes nothing towards your tattoo. Then you have to pay for your tattoo. You have to pay the deposit up front. That's $800 to set an appointment. So you got to pay $800 to set an appointment. Then you have to pay. It was just nonstop, paying for nothing, paying for nothing, paying for nothing. And there's these people who have been doing it, paying for nothing. And then they're getting ripped off. And so they're complaining about it. And this one, she was trying very hard to not release the person's name. She's a Canadian tattoo artist because her name's been released. Boy, this chick's doxed. Okay, fuck. Like, yeah. It isn't just her. It's like her mentor. It's like a whole group. It's like, and this isn't just people. This is tattoo artists now. Like, this is, it's called Tattoo Gate, and people are going all in. And so you got these tattooers calling out the bullshit, because there is a lot of tattoo artists who are ethically just, enjoy art and want to do art on people who want art on them, and aren't trying to be famous, aren't trying to be anything but a local artist who enjoys art and has a great clientele and, has a good life. And then you have these other people who are all in ego, who, trying to be superior. And that is, the shit they're doing is pounding on every motherfucking door. They're trying to force shit to happen. And it is in an unethical way. When the one girl, she started speaking out about her whole ripoff. The girl had drawn her drawing. It was nothing like her reference material she had shown. It was nothing like what she had requested. And it was a shitty drawing, really shitty drawing, like really shitty drawing. I was like, oh my God. That is what you're going to come up with and show somebody for $1,900? That is what you have to offer? Damn. And that is like, girl, you have jacked your ego up, because, your skills. So she, and I saw a video yesterday where some artist, and it was a tattoo artist, because you can tell because of a lot of, you just know how, like, a graphic artist can picture. So you could tell, like, what this person, how the pens and everything they were doing. This was a tattoo artist, I'm positive, that was doing this. So they have the girl talking, and they have her drawing. So it's a stitch. So they have her drawing, and they're tracing the drawing with this red pen. Like, you can just tell that. But anyways, it wasn't even an original. It was a fox, like a fox cartoon or something. And the girl just got that fox that was already drawn, took it, and then traced it and made this girl's. And this person is showing. And the girl who had the thing, she was just like, oh my God. It wasn't even original. Like, she really thought she was paying for original art. for $1,900, yeah, you would fucking expect it. And especially like you're talking about people who have no tattoos, who don't know like how tattoos are created. There's a lot of tracing different things and stuff. Uh, you use light tables and tracing things and stuff. A lot of artists don't just sit and draw original drawings for somebody because it can be quite time consuming and tedious, but you still have to put together the tattoo. You have to do the sizes. So like you could take a reference, like you would have to do your own like if you were going to do one of those girl faces, you wouldn't just trace one. Well, some people would. And in order to claim an art piece as your own, so you could take that, you could trace most of it, but you got to make 6 changes or something like that, 6 independent changes. So you could, trace fate. Like the person comes in and goes, oh, I love this tattoo, I want one just like this. And then you go in and you drop it. You got to make 6 changes. Like you could change something with their hairdress or headdress. You could change their eyebrow shape. You could change the lips. You could put some markings on their face. Just stuff that it became, your own piece. And that is all on each person's own level. But like you take you had a bunch of flowers. Like when I would do flowers, I did tons and tons of flower tattoos. And so I would go find different flower pictures and stuff like that. And then you kind of just trace to get like the different shapes of the one. It's very, it's not like you trace every detail. That's way too much. You just get like a size thing. And so kind of what you do usually is you do a drawing and then you get an idea. Like they'll bring something in and then you start doing your drawings. And I did a lot of my just drawings, I think, because I did so many tattoos of flowers, so many. But anyway, I just know like you would find different flowers you like. You would do a really rough sketch of the thing. You can trace and get like the different sizes, and then you put together, like, so you put together a face, you put together an animal, you put together some flowers, you put together all these different things, and then you can trace that and get that, and then you show them that. Like there's all these different ways to prepare your resource stuff. But, most people don't just sit and do like a whole art thing because they have clients. Like you don't have time to sit there and do a whole art thing. Like even for her to sit there and say she's going to do a painting and $6,000, Jesus Christ. When I start doing my paintings, it'll be like $100 for a painting. Not $6,000 for a painting that this woman did. It's not like she has got some, I guess she's real up her own ass on her name or something. I haven't heard from her. The tattoo artist that I was learning under, who was real famous, and then because I saw another tattoo artist guy, and he said he just strictly does $125 an hour. And that is the person who I knew. That's what she did. But this was a long time ago. She's probably more like $250, maybe even $500 an hour. She can really be picky because she's got so many people who want tattoo by her because she does have a name. She's been doing it for a long ass time. And so, I don't think she'd be like this girl. So the one girl who had the whole fox thing, who had this whole long thing. Well, this other girl comes in and does a stitch with her and says she got ripped off by the same girl and is doing more on the story. Same fucking bullshit story stuff. But then she actually got in to get the tattoo. She said she showed up at 9 o'clock in the morning. So she's paid all these different fees and all this shit this whole time. And the girl is very much like, when she shows you the drawing, it's like right before the tattoo. And if you don't like it, well, you lost your deposit, you lost everything, get the hell out of here. And so The girl, she was not a tattoo like she wanted, didn't match her reference, nothing. But she had already paid so much money. She's like, fuck it, I'm getting the goddamn tattoo. And so she shows up at 9 o'clock in the morning. The girl doesn't even start until 1. Then, so the girl's sitting there all day waiting for this girl to start. And, like, that is some bullshit, man. That is some bullshit. Like, the arrogance and some of the stuff that people are doing, like, oh my God, can you imagine going to an appointment and then sitting there for fucking 6 hours? Then, so she finally starts, and it's like 1 o'clock, and then at 3 o'clock, she goes, okay, well, I got to leave now. I got to go pick up my kids. And she says, so that's $1,900. And the girl's like, what? I paid $895 already, and you've done 2 hours of work. And the girl goes, I don't care. She said, I am paid $1,900 a day for a session. You will pay the $1,900 a day for the session. And the girl's like, you only did 2 hours. That is not a session. That is 2 hours of work. And so she's arguing with her. And I don't even remember, because it seems like that this happened. It seemed like that she went in for 2 different appointments. And the one appointment, it was some bullshit. But anyways, whenever she got to, I think it was it. So she argued with the girl or something. I don't really remember, because it seems like there was another appointment and the arguing went again. But it seems like this was the only one. I don't think, because she outlined it. So she just did the outline, and it took her 2 hours. And then she said she was done for the day, pay the $1,900. Whatever happened in one of these arguments, if it was that appointment or if there was a second appointment, the girl said, no, I'm not paying. You have not done I'm not paying that. And the girl's, I'll call the police. And the girl, so this whole argument ensues. And the girl was like, fucking call them, and leaves and goes home. The police show up at her house, and the police say if she doesn't pay the girl, they're going to arrest her. And she's just like, oh my gosh. So she found out, that people can just say whatever price they want. And then they can say, you have to pay it. And they can say, you stole it. And that is another loophole. That is a loophole that a fucking shady person would use. And so this person is just charging these astronomical fees. And the girl ended up having to pay. She had to pay the other $1,900. So she had, it was like a $4,000 outline on her arm from this girl who is just out there ripping people off. And it's a whole group. It's not because they are following, like, if who is that guy, like that? Is that guy named Tim Robbins or something? Like, if you get these people who are out there, like, telling you, like, oh, as an influencer, this is what you need to do, do this, and everything will be great. So there's some old tattoo guy, and he's the one who came up with all of these extra charges and stuff. And so then you have these people who are following him, because these other tattoo artists are going like, we got to go up to the one who started this shit, not just the stupid asses who are following this shit. So that's why I said that all these different things are going to start fracturing, so that you have to really look at the morals, the ethical practice, what is inside each person. And obviously, a good artist can be a really bad person. So do you want to go and support a really bad person because they're a good artist? Or do you want to, support people who are good people with good practices? And I just saw, this was really cool. And this is a guy in Seattle. I can't remember the name of his thing. Like, it's something about feeding people. And he goes and he prepares all this food in his house. And it was fancy. Like, he was handing people dishes in containers that I reuse. And they're like these meal containers. And so he's serving all of them. But he made all the spaghetti and garlic toast and made all these bags with stuff in it that they would need, and then went down to a place where there's a bunch of homeless people handing out food and handing out these bags. And I know there's a lot of people in a lot of different cities. This guy was in Seattle, and I know there's a lot of people in a lot of different cities doing it. I'm always wondering, like, I wonder where they get all the money for this. Like, there's got to be somebody, because that would be a lot of money, to use of your own, to go and to feed 200 people. There's a lot of stuff he had, and he was cooking it all in his kitchen and stuff. I was like, man, see, that is a really cool person. Somebody who really cares about other people, putting themselves out, and that is the energy of being in service to others. And then the other girl who is like charging $1,900, she's in service to self. So that's the two services that are the divide. Is if you're service to self, if you're just all about you and getting rich and being the queen of evil, then it's most important that you think you have Gucci or whatever, and that you are above other people, because you do. And so that is service to self. Those people are not gonna. And who knows? I'm not saying this girl's going to cease to exist in this plane, but this is her moment. Is she going to heal and go in the other direction? Or is she going to just, fizzle out because it's too hard? And you see people all day long that are just being hit with everything right now, or this is the facing of the demons. It isn't, the demons that people think of, devils and stuff. It's your inner demons. It's what is inside of you. And it has to be released. Like that girl who is ripping people off, like, I don't know what's inside of her to get her to be that way and to not care, that is inside of her. That is what she's having this opportunity to see what's inside her so she can heal it. But when you are really stuck in ego and you're shown what's inside of you, you become defensive and angry and stuff. So those are other demons to get over, to put aside your anxiety, your anger, your bitterness, all of those things, so that you can release and recognize, like, man, that is really shitty. God, why would I do that? Like, I'm not, and she should probably listen to what a lot of these other artists are saying, about having ethics and compassion and caring, and like, Jesus Christ, you're putting a tattoo on somebody. You're not doing fucking brain surgery. You're not saving their damn life or something. You're doing art on somebody. Like, you should practically pay them. It's like, it's weird. But there is like, there's some fantastic art out there on people's bodies, like super fantastic. And people are proud to show, their fucking art on them. And but then you have in the division too, you have the tattoos that are just like I knew a tattoo artist, and she's one that had worked on this one arm, and she struggled with her mental health. I think she struggled with addiction or something and mental health. And when I met her, she was doing better, but she was interested in a friend of my husband's at the time. And so I didn't know that's why she was talking to me, because she was interested in him. And when that didn't work out, then she, that kind of, her attitude kind of changed and stuff. But, and she started suffering more with her mental health. And she up and went to Florida. She even had told me I should come to Florida, but I wonder now, like, how's it going there now with her? But it's so crazy, because there's so many people that you come across in your life throughout that you don't even know if they're still alive, you don't even know what the hell's going on with them. They just come in and out of your life, and then they'll cross your mind at some point. It's weird. But she would go into, I don't know if it was drunk or manic or something, and she would start just tattooing on her legs vile things to herself, like mean things, like So all I'm saying is that there's some people who put things on their body because they want it to be beautiful and they're happy and display it. And there's others that are just, it's a part of their abuse. It's a part of their hatefulness, their hatred towards the world and their attitude. So it's very distinct differences in the kinds of people that get tattooed. You definitely can't lump them all in together. And she had talked about, that she had written all this mean stuff to herself on her legs with a tattoo machine, tattooed it into her skin. And she had told me that and said, that it seemed like she said she had problems with addiction that she was trying to get over and, doing stuff like that. And, but there is, there's people who go in and pay. I mean, I have daughters that have gotten tattoos to me that are just like very strange. So everybody has their own ideas of what is beautiful, And so I don't know. I'm just really, I feel like when this medbed stuff comes out, I feel like it's going to take the tattoo ink out. I feel like it's a toxin. And especially when I did that light thing over it and it heated up like that, I was like very creepy. And so I think it is some sort of toxins. I saw this other lady who was talking about the med beds are here, the med beds are here. And then I was like, oh, thank God. But she's talking about the EES ones. And I have done the EES ones. Yeah, the EES ones are great if you had one in your house. You need one of those. You need one of those to be all the time. Like, if you had one of those systems in your house and every day that you could go in and sit in there, raise your vibration and let your body, it's like plugging in your phone. And so if you could do that every day, yeah, you're going to see huge differences. The one man, that doctor, he said, when the lady was talking about him, she said that his hair had stopped. His hair was going the other direction. Was silver. It was going back the other direction. That he had a bad knee from sports and stuff, but now he was beating everybody. Like he's 80 years old and he's beating young people and stuff. Like his everything started going backwards. But you got to have it every day. It isn't, and he has a system in his house that he does every single day. And so that is that system. The other one, the one I'm waiting on, is the military one. And I would love to get that other system and have it in my house, not in this house, obviously. This house is so small, I don't even know where I would have to have it in the living room. But I know. You have to have like these, you need like an empty room. It's just like if you had an empty bedroom and then you ordered the system, which the 24 unit is the one that has the most. And so if you have anything wrong, you need the 24 unit. A 6 unit isn't going to do that much unless you have nothing wrong and you're just trying to keep your health up or something. But when I had talked to them, they said I would need the 24. And so I went all the way to Southern California and I went in. And I even got 12 hours in it. And I really think it did some stuff to help Stella. And I'm sure it did some stuff to help me. But, when you're constantly being attacked by chemicals and stuff, like, everything you do, like, you need to have it all the time. And but those military med beds, those are the ones that do the things that, like, I need to have done. Like, it goes in and it redoes all your cells, so it fixes, like, the brain injury. It'll fix my eyes. It will grow the teeth back that the dentist broke. It will, I think it will take all the ink out of my skin. It's going to take the implants out. I don't know if it I don't know how it does it, but everything that is foreign to your body comes out. So even if you have screws and bolts and stuff inside your bones holding them together, the bones will mend and heal. All of the cartilage, all of that stuff will heal back to, depending on your age and how much damage. Like if you had, screws in your leg for 50 years and it has caused more damage, then it will go back as much as it can. It supposedly can go back like 25 years or something of cell rejuvenation. And so it can heal, but if it's a long-term thing, maybe it won't go back to the original of where it was. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, supposedly it can make you smarter. It can make you like a whole bunch of different things. Like there's supposed to be one med bed that will fix things like that. Like a quadriplegic can go in there, or an amputee can go in there, and they will take longer, but it will fix all those things. Like they'll come out and they'll be able to walk. They'll come out and they will have 2 legs again, or 2 arms, or whatever. So these med beds that I'm waiting on, they are, really sophisticated compared to this EEE system. The EE system thing is good, but it is something like we need in our daily practice, not something to just go in. Like it won't heal. Like I didn't go into that for 12 hours and come out with no implants. It didn't grow my teeth back. It didn't fix my eyes even when I was driving home, I was having so much problems with my eyes that they were burning up every time I would pass the tower. Felt like I was getting sprayed with some kind of pepper spray or something. So it didn't fix things like the other med bed. Those ones will fix things like immediately. And then and I don't know, if to me, it seems like everybody would have those EES systems. So if you had like a blank room, there are a bunch of TV screens. They just look like little mini TV screens. And then they have to line up. They have to be across from each other. So you put them in the corners, and then they line up, and then in the corners, and they line up. And so they feed each other. And then on the TVs, it's all just these waveforms and colors and stuff. And so that is, it's like being inside a computer or something, and it's like feeding this information. And then when you're there, the frequency is good for us. And so it is like, plugging yourself in. And so it is good for you. So the people who do it all the time, I think they have a lot of really good health benefits, but you got to have one that's close to you. You got to have one that is near you. And supposedly there's a lot more of them opening up. There was a lull in it because they needed to make there was so many orders, and they were behind on the TV things, the little screen things. And so now they're opening more and more. So there'll be more and more of those healing centers. Just don't go into them expecting a miracle. It's like something that you have to do, just like eating healthy or movement is like something you have to do over and over and over and over and over. And I'm not saying like the other med beds will be like a quick fix, but it's going to fix the things that the other ones can't fix. Because no matter what, even if you go into the medical med bed and you go in and you get all healed, if you go out and start continuing an unhealthy lifestyle, it isn't, I don't even know. Like, it's going to be curious to me when they start doing that. Like, it's weird how much the EES system is going everywhere. And I only know, when I hear people talking about it, they're like, the med beds. But I have gone in them. And it's not the same as the med bed that I have heard of from the technology and stuff like that. The one that the secret space program whistleblowers talk about, like Corey Good and stuff, it's very different. It is, and that's why I always say it's the military one. And it's the one that they use for the 25 and back. Like he said that they'll flip his age back 25 years over and over and over. I think that they've done it to him like 3 or 4 times. I don't know. I think you could only do it a certain amount of times. But I don't know. But even after, so once this stuff goes down and the EE system thing, to me, that would be, and I don't even know if we're going to still be eating food the same. I heard somebody talking about that before, when we used to be in 5th dimension, that when we used to be spiritual. So if you think back to like the what is that? Artisan keeps coming in my head, but it's not that. Back in the, what is that word? It's not Amazon. The, man, because I feel like I was there during this time. Ever since I was a kid, when I was a little kid, I was just so, man, how does it keep being where I can't see that word all the way? Where I kept feeling like I was from that time. And I knew that that time existed. And I would say that and people would be like, oh, that's not real. That never happened. That's just make believe and stuff like that. But I knew it was real. But anyways, people talking about that back then when we were really spiritual. And so we were fifth dimension because we were spiritually minded. And then this person was saying we didn't eat. We didn't need energy like that. It was when our like the forgetting, going back and like you have different people talk about it in different ways because a lot of people like will refer to us as like fallen angels. Like we had ascended, but then we fell back. But I think it's all in just how people look at things because I think it's all about learning and stuff. And there's other people who like there's just something about the things you know. If you know it, you already learned it. It isn't because you're special that you know it. It's because you experienced it and you learned it, so you know it. And so we have all different souls, because you can talk to people and they don't know a lot of stuff. But it is in your soul's imprint when you do. And it could be that they have been going through the processes of learning certain lessons and they just hadn't sunk in, just like that lady was talking about the other day. She has done them on people who have had 50 life things just on one lesson. So, the trying to learn one thing can take a long time. And you see it from all different angles. So you're learning things in a really deep, profound way. And that is your expansion and it's your DNA. You carry it from life to life. So the things you know are the things you've experienced. And so we have all different levels here. But anyway, so if you take that whole thing about a fallen angel, so your vibration was higher and then you fell down into this depths of hell and your vibration went down and you forgot who you were and then you had to remember so you could raise yourself back up and out of here. And I think that with the people who what was I gonna say? Man, okay, I've been talking an hour. Sometimes that is like, my brain just gets super tired. Like, how long have I been talking? Like, I don't know. But anyways, the thing with the med beds is that when we get those ones, those ones aren't not going to be ones you have to go into all the time. You would go into them like one time. But I guess, like if you go in them, and you heal your stuff or whatever. And I don't know, it may not be people who don't have severe things that are wrong. I think a lot of the people who are going to go in at first are going to probably be a lot of these, especially with the numbers. Oh my God, I can't even believe that. Over 3 million. Oh, that is so fucking mind blowing. 140,000 people have died. This is serious. This is so serious. Everybody better hurry up. Oh my God, this is so serious. Fucking Jesus fucking Christ. God, these people are fucking monsters, man. It is just, this is hard to see this stuff. To have people have to wake up to some of this stuff is fucking hard. But, so, like you go through and you go in and you get your healing done. It's not like you would never be allowed in them because if you went and you got in a car crash or something, they just could put you right in there. You wouldn't need to go into, it's not going to be like they're not going to be doing surgeries and stuff like that anymore. I just saw a doctor too, and he was talking about, he was a cardiologist, and he met this chiropractor woman, and they had this serious talk, and she was telling him that he needed to be a different kind of doctor. I can't even remember what she called him, but this to stop being to start being a doctor that figures out what the cause, a doctor of cause, that's what it is, and to start figuring out what it is that cause these things, and working with that instead of just being a part of this Western medical that is just putting band-aids on people and stuff. And so he said that more people are switching to that, like, doctor of cause thing, and that's what you want to be looking for. So there's going to be people who are going to, but I would think that it would be kind of the same thing even with like, I've seen people who are herbalists and foragers and stuff be able to explain so much stuff about the healing and stuff. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a medical doctor, but the medical doctors have to change their views or their opinions of how to treat. And so I think there's going to be a lot of changes of people who are really trying to help people get better. But there's still going to be, each person has to put in the effort, has to put in the work, But I think that once you go through the real medbed thing, and it heals all of the stuff, like if you've got kidney issues, you've got liver problem, like everything in your body is like reset. And then there may be like an upkeep, but then we may not even be eating anymore. Like I really don't know until this shit starts going and changing. It's hard to know. Like, anything can happen. Maybe we won't eat food anymore. Maybe this, like how everything tastes weird and stuff, maybe this is our releasing and understanding we don't need it as our energy. But it's so weird because I feel so, at times, so pulled by the, all I can think of it as parasites or something. I feel like drained of my energy. And I don't know if it could be I don't know what this stuff, what it is. It completely drains out my energy sometimes. So, I just feel like there's just a lot of this stuff that we just are going to have to wait and see. And I saw this other guy, and he was talking about there's these people with different gifts and stuff. And I had talked about these people a while back, about the ones who are moving things with their hands, and a lot of them set up like tinfoil stuff and everything, and they can move things. There's people who can move way more now, not just like tinfoil, but they have been practicing and practicing and practicing with focusing the energy movement, with shooting energy out of their hand without touching anything, moving things with just putting their hand up. And I had seen too about, this was just something, it was talking something about Jesus, and when he was healing, that they said that they could see light coming out of his hand. And I've seen a few things lately about the energy that comes from the palm of your hand. But anyway, so you have all these people who are learning about it and working on it and becoming better at it and really good at it. And then you have these people who are out there. They can make wind come, they can make wind stop, they can make clouds go away. It's crazy. And these people are all working on their skills. And in that group, they said, is also the telepathic group. And they spend a lot of time talking to animals and stuff like that. That is my group for sure. Like, I don't feel, like, I find that so interesting. Like, I would like to do, but mine is definitely telepathy. That is, and that is part of, even when they told me, when I was like, why can I not see what is going on? Like, why is this going on with my eyes? And they even said they wanted me to focus on my inner sight, not my outer sight. And the outer sight, though, is so frustrating. Not being able to see good. Oh my God, it's so frustrating. But they want me to focus on the inner sight, and then how much with the communication with the animals and stuff, like with Stella, and even with the other ones out. And I always have other dogs that come up and want to like communicate with me, or cats, or all sorts of stuff. And it isn't like like where people think like, oh, you think you're talking to animals. Like, it isn't like that. It is like you can sense something. You can sense it. It isn't like they're talking to you in words. You can sense things. And I don't know. Like, all I know is that my telepathy, like I didn't even know it was telepathy when I was a kid. Like, I really thought that's how we all lived. I thought that we all were talking to these beings. And I didn't know why nobody would listen to me when I would say what they were telling me. But, it just, I don't know. I can remember, I can see it. I can see it clearly, but I don't remember exactly like all the things that I thought and felt about it. But I just thought that was normal. I thought that was just regular. I had no idea until I started in my awakening part, where I was having so much communication. And then I was listening to channelers, because I had went to that one, and then I was like, well, I could do this. I want to know how to do channeling. And so I started like going in and watching all these different channelers, trying to understand. Like, that is where I was like, they're not doing anything different than me. Like, this is already what I have. And that is when I started being like, oh, so this is what they call psychic. This is what they say. But when you're just doing it naturally, I mean, I didn't ever have to go in and try and force it or anything. So I just thought that was just how we lived. But now it is like they took that natural ability, and then they just more like where more beings come and talk more. There's just more. It just goes more. Like I said, I've never had so many entities coming at me before. Like, yeah, I've been around a lot of ghosts and shit. I've lived in a lot of haunted houses, and and I would know a lot of things, but it is definitely another level. Like, this shit is totally expanding. So any of your gifts or skills or whatever, and you may not even know that you're doing something that is, because it's so natural to you and you just do it so regularly, you don't even think about it. But anyways, there's all sorts of things, inside of us that we can start working on. And so especially to you guys who are listening to me at this point, like, there's only a few of us out there. So whatever your stuff is, just, try some different things out. Look into some stuff. And, because I would say most anybody who is awake through this part, like, there's a purpose. There's a reason you're awake through this part. And I did see yesterday too. Oh yeah, this is a psychic lady. This one's kind of trippy too. I think her name's Tina. And I think she talks to the Arcturian Council too. But they were talking about all this shit's about to go down. Like, there's, what was it? I saw more things like that Trump thing, 514. But today's 512. They're supposed to be, I think today's 512. Is it the 13th? I don't know. Maybe today's my daughter's birthday, but she's not speaking to me. She hasn't spoken to me in years. So it's not like I'm going to say happy birthday, because she's been sending gifts back now. Like, she wants nothing to do with me. And I'm going to send that other one. But I think that's one that she'll be like, oh, hell yeah, that's cool. Because, if you want to go do laser treatments, it is really expensive. So, anyways, what was I going to say? I don't remember. It's probably time for me to stop talking anyways. Just whatever your stuff, it may be that you have gifts that you don't realize that are different until you go and look into things. Because I do, because it was that they said that the people who are awake now are going to be the people who are going to be it's kind of like what I have been being shown. It is kind of like the people who are confused. Like when I talk to my kids and say, oh, no, no, that's not real. That's not real. All that kind of stuff. But once they see that it's real, that's going to change their attitude. So that is what I'm saying. There's different people all over the place. That something is going to happen that is going to be surprising to the people around you. And that's going to motivate them. And that's what I think most of the people who are awake right now. Oh my gosh, I'm so nauseous right now. See, this is like, is it the parasites? Like, I don't fucking know. But I don't see how can you just not eat when you feel like you're going to start puking. And I know too, my stuff is something with my stomach. Like it is constantly under attack. It has been my whole life. I always have stomach things. And I was just watching this guy and he was talking about if you have eye problems, the different places to rub. And like if you rub here, that means it's, I don't remember, up here. That means if it's tender and you're rubbing here, that means you've got like some with your adrenals and stuff like that. And here, if you rub here and it's tender, that's GI. And so that is where mine is tender. And so it can be stuff, the eye thing from the GI stuff, but the GI stuff is a lot of interference with parasites and stuff. And I do so much stuff that I can for my gut health. Like I make my own kombucha and I am getting so, I've got every bottle full of kombucha right now. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to have to start drinking way more. I don't know how I got so much. It's like, maybe I should just go to a little festival and sell bottles of kombucha for $1 or something. It really is good for your gut health, but it is hard to drink because it's sour and tart. So anyways, I don't know. Until they finish poisoning us, until we get to the other side and stop with the poisoning, then I guess we're just going to have to just keep dealing with this stuff. And just it is every day, just try and get through that day. And, focus on the things that make you happy and learning about yourself. So anyways, I'm going to go. Talk to you later. Bye.